All right, we just got hit the go live button, so about 10 minutes. We're going to be posting the link, so probably nobody's going to be hearing this, but on your way. Sorry.
I don't know why they didn't set it up, like 2 feet that way.
That was fucking boring as fuck. Holy shit.
That's why you didn't see me back here.
Those are live.
Yeah, sorry.
That's the one. That's why that one.
In that one panel, I was like, that's the one?
Nice midget.
Oh my gosh. This one.
Well, that was the one. Last night was. Last night I have to do it for all of myself. On that.
Yeah. Yeah. This one won't be all the way. I'm gonna go get something to drink though.
Yeah, go for it. Or you got those here?
Yeah.
I'll buy two for it.
Yeah.
How much?
Okay. What kind?
Bud Light, or whatever you're drinking, or
I'll get Bud Light and
Tequila Rose on the rocks.
Everclear.
Sound like
Clear what we need for. Nobody wants to watch the Christmas? Maybe it's.
something.
It's Jim Newbury is when you say that. That's good.
Maybe I'll go.
No, nothing happened. Can't drive it. I don't know how that ever started. Who started that table? That's 22 minutes.
I'm gonna see what Pat wants. I'm gonna come back here and
Well, if you want to talk, go for it. Figure it out.
I don't have it. I know I don't have like a voice for it, but I kinda want to try it.
You want to try it? I wouldn't mind playing it on that quick.
Oh, I think Brian's already full quotes. I think
No,
quotes on.
Daisy, damn it.
Well, but then when I got more, I'm like, whatever. $10 a piece.
Okay, I'm good.
And I give her $5 for a tip.
Whatever. You know, hard to get along with.
Oh, plus I took 3 instead of 2.
Can't really fault him for that. We do have to watch a little bit. Not much.
Oh, just so can't hear it.
Steve doesn't miss.
Oh yeah.
Not real weird about you and I, but
Should've got my jacket on. Should've. I'll remember tomorrow to bring a sweatshirt or something. No, this one should be a little bit better. I don't know if you saw the people at the table. Brian, or Tweet, and Masaki, and Jesse Headland, and Eric Hansen. Yeah. Which one? Did we lose one of the audios? That's our audio. Oh, I suppose that mic doesn't come up until,
well, yeah, because we're not getting feed after that.
yeah. Duh. Oh, there it is. 150 for 20,000 in chips, $15 dealer appreciation. I don't know. There's a lot of people who talk. There's a lot of people who talk about that the unlimited rebuys. Now they don't like them, and I'm like, isn't it more money in the pot?
What do you mean, unlimited, you guys?
So they go up to the casino next, or
Oh.
over the New Year's, and it's unlimited 165. So someone could be in for 8 or 9, right? It doesn't bother me.
I think that's a conversation we can actually have on air about rebuys and unlimited rebuys and whatnot. And I've been doing the poker tournament directing type stuff for 20-ish years. Wow, that sounds really bad out loud. Maybe we should switch to live stream. But I do know that there are a group of players that much prefer strictly a freeze out, or at least some level of a cap. I completely understand your unlimited just increases the prize pool, but it also makes it very difficult to
Yep.
to put people on something.
Especially when you're talking during that, obviously the rebuy period, especially early, because someone's just trying to double up with almost anything. They're going to press any advantage they can.
We both know players with virtually unlimited pockets, and we know of some of these players that are working extra jobs and doing everything and saving up to buy into a single tournament. And I think there's room for both. I mean, I know there's room for both.
Correct. And so, you can't have too many of one or too many of the other. The freeze outs, they get a good showing, and you can have those rebuy tournaments that are meant for those people,
Yep.
So I don't think there's a right or a wrong, but there does need to be a mix. And I think in the last Card Player magazine, they actually had an article where they were starting to talk about that a little bit more, because I think some of the bigger tournaments have even started to almost allow anybody to rebuy any amount of times, and basically the whole first day. And yeah, I think that gets be a little bit. So we got a new table of players here. Seat 5 is actually, we're going to call him at his request Mr. Papa Giorgio, and 6 is Mr. Bellagio. So that's what we're going to be dealing with tonight. Looks like we have Jesse Headland in seat 3, Eric Hansen in seat 1, David Jarrett in seat 7, Masaki Ova in seat 9.
Seat 10. Seat 10.
No, seat 9.
Oh, yep.
I do not know him. I do not know Jamie. And then we have another Tim W. in seat 8. Last time we had Tim W. in seat 8, didn't I not? I'm pretty sure we did.
Yes. Was he in seat 8? Tim Warren?
Yeah.
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 Yep. I don't know, man. That was like 20 minutes ago.
So Eric Hansen already waking up. So Chris Ham, this was, I thought I was doing commentary with him on this table earlier today, but I might be dreaming. Maybe it was. I'm not sure. Anyway, Eric Hansen takes down that with Ace King. Might be the first table or first hand of the table there where someone wanted to give themselves an image of raising. I'm not sure.
I have a feeling this table might play slightly different than the last one, shall we say?
I think it would. There's a few players who are very aggressive and willing to make some moves. So, yes, I believe so. So we have pocket 7s, Jack 10, Jack 9, and Jesse gets to get in this hand with 5 deuce. All similar stack sizes.
Ace, Queen, Jack on the flop. Nobody's thrilled to see that.
And Jamie's going to take a stab. Does she get called by Chris here? Yep.
Bottom pair and a gut shot. See a
Or
card.
minimum bet, yeah. Oh, check, check. Check, check. And Jack 10 is going to take us down. So, before you came back here, I was talking about this where there was a couple times where people would lead out at these flops with that size bet, just basically min bet, and get called, but then they'd lead it up with, so in this case it was 1,200. Let's say they'd follow it up with a 3,000 chip bet or a 35. Usually that was enough to get that other person to fold. So what's the reasoning for floating there if you're Chris with that Jack 10? Obviously he had, like you said, bottom pair gut shot. Could easily be beat on that flop. So do you call with the hope of improving your hand, or do you call thinking you're not sure whether that person's good, or what's your reasoning there? Is it kind of not sure? You're not raising to find out where you're at, or what do you think?
That's what were the pot? I mean, there was 4 to the flop. It's a min because it was a min
It was a limp pot, yeah.
limp pot. So there's 48 in the 48, 6,000 in the pot. I mean, you're getting pot odds. You're getting pot odds to draw out your gut shot.
Right. But do you think you're? So there's so what I think you're saying there on that pot is there's a little bit of both of, You think you could be good, but you think you have. Also, you think you have odds to improve. Oh, look at that. Brian getting frisky with a king 6. Maybe he's reading the table as a little bit tight right now. He is the chip leader at the table. I don't know. Maybe sometimes I just overthink things. It's very possible. David Jarrett under the gun with ace 10 of diamonds. Does he just call here, or does he... No, just call.
I hate looking down at ace 10 under the, or ace 10 under the gun. I just do.
I completely agree with you. See, now here's where Eric's an aggressive player. Ace 10 of spades. Oh, look at Jesse just called. I thought he grabbed more than one.
Yep, Eric
pick.
raised to 45.
It comes back to David here. He's going to call.
Yep.
So, but yes, ace 10 of the gun. It can get you in more problems than it's worth. But it's
And there he played it well. In this particular spot.
Yeah, 15,000 puts Eric to a test. Eric has. I thought it said Brian had the. Eric called and they're going to chop. I thought. Well, maybe, yeah. I thought Brian was the only one over 100. No, okay, I was wrong.
Well, Eric should. I mean, that's both this hand, so Eric picked up 45.
Half of 45 plus the blinds of. What are we at?
I don't remember who.
8, 16, 16? It was Brian was small blind and Terry was big blind.
So 3, 4, 9.
Was
So
it
40. He picked up 4,500 or something that hand.
6, 12, 12. So 15, 3,000. He picked up 3,000.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
No, he picked up 3,700. 38 because he got the extra 100. It's getting late in the day, and I can't math as well.
Eric and Jesse are getting into it again.
Counting out 48. And Eric gives it up. I think this is definitely a table where we're going to see a lot more of the players. If they're going to be entering the pot, they're going to be entering the pot with a raise and making people pay if they want to see a call. All right, I'm going to try to reconnect here. Eric has already played, voluntarily put into the pot 4 out of the 5 hands on this table, as so is Jesse.
I feel like one of those will stay close to that, and the other may not. I will not name names out of which way each of those will go.
If they both continue on that pace, wow, our reconnect is this is taking the most time of any reconnect here, huh? All right, there we go.
You can hear Steve direct in tournament direct in the other tournament.
Yeah, we lost a hand there to the leg.
It must have been exciting because it happened pretty fast.
Yeah, I'm going to guess Brian raised that hand because it looks like pre-flop raise. His went up to 33%, and he is now up 4,800 on the table. So Chris here, ace-5 suited, puts in a raise to 3,600. Ooh, we got some action. Brian's going to call with queen 10 of clubs. Dangerous hand, but can pay off. He's just staring into Chris's soul right now. Oh, that's a... Brian's going to push pretty big here. 73?
I don't see Chris calling this.
No. Your gut shot, but it's facing a flush draw on top of it. He shows a 5. Brian's not scared of that. He had a really good draw. Little did he know.
The chat's going just crazy right now.
Yeah, where did our friend Brandon go? We miss you, Brandon.
I mean, Corey and I aren't very capable of carrying a conversation, just the two of us. Neither one of us likes to talk very much.
No, not at all. Anybody who...
Oh, Brian's got some cards. Those will work to see a flop.
So, I've played with Brian a few times, and his whole demeanor is always aggressive, overbearing there, and it's the same way he puts chips into the pot all the time so far I've seen. He's very straight and to the point, no matter what he has. He did the same thing. He had queen 10 of clubs, so I'll be interested to continue to watch in other situations, maybe, if he puts his chips in the same way. And see if Eric calls here. Looking him up. So is Eric reading that over-aggressiveness as false? And saying, nah, he doesn't have that great of a hand. Not a good flop for Jack 4.
I don't know. In that situation, I might think it's a great flop for Jack 4. Yep.
Well, you really don't want to catch your Jack there. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. Is that just Eric setting something up later? Played with Eric a few times, and he likes to... I think he views it strictly as a mind game.
I absolutely think Eric's the type of player to do that. Especially if in this situation where you have, what does he have, 80 big blinds? I think.
Somewhere right around there, yeah. Depending on what you're defining as a big blind, I guess. We already had that discussion last.
Yeah, I mean, you know how many times I've had the conversation about the idea, because of course, what was it, 5 years ago that everything moved to the big blind ante? 4 or 5, I don't know.
Dave Sheffy's watching.
Hey, Dave. Yes, we love to give a thrill a minute. That's about all I can give, too, by the way.
Oh, and now Eric picks up a couple
Oh.
bullets.
So here goes where, you know, wow. He's just trying to roll someone in. This is the first hand I think Masaki's played. In fact, now that I look at the stats, it is.
That's kind of cool that we can just check that stuff.
It is.
It's really weird to see Terry up there with a bunch of 0%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Masaki's not going to get out of line there. But Eric knows the player he's playing against, who's willing to take that chance to pick up on someone else's weakness.
Oh, we got a new player moved in.
Jacob. Oh, yeah, Jacob. Who was there before?
Was he?
No, who was there before?
Tim W.
Did we lose Tim?
They must have pulled him and then broke a table. Oh, and Jacob wakes up with kings.
Oh, first hand. Wake up with kings and the last 2 hours, the Alex who got to the table, his first hand was aces. So apparently, just move people around and you end up picking up big hands.
And Jamie picks up ace 10 suited. And
And
Eric
with
picks up the threes. And Chris
And-
with the ace.
Wow.
And Jesse with queen deuce of clubs. And the big blind does not come along.
All right. We haven't seen we don't know what the flop is.
Oh, we
but
got
Jacob moved in with.
Chris 3-betting to 16,000.
Oh, that's
Jacob's
why.
moving all in for 36. Jacob got exactly what you hope for in that spot. You get 2 limpers and then a re-raise.
All right.
Chris calls.
Chris is looking for an 8. An 8. Maybe spades.
Chris came into the hand short stacked and
Ooh. Lots of. Oh, my. Oh. Any 6, any 8, any spade. Oof. Jacob basically doubles. Yeah, does double up. More than doubles up the very first hand. Even gets some dead money in there. That's a heck of a hand to show up to a table at. So how do you feel someone's psyche is affected by doubling up from a shorter stack, or any stack really, or if you have a big stack and say you lose about half of it? Do you think people tend to play more hands after they do either one of those things? Like, if you lose half your chips, you want to try to go get them back. And then if you double up, you're like, feeling good. I want to go get more chips. I feel I see the same type of actions out of either one of those people when they double up. They want to play more hands, or if they lose half from having, let's say Brian or Eric would lose half their stack right here. They'd Jamie waking up with queens after Terry limps with ace 9.
And you got Eric Hansen sitting there. Still having cards, 5-8 suited. Means only a raise to 6,000. Yep, he's going to come along. Chris, who is now the short stack at the table, I believe.
He's going to call on him.
He's got no choice but to go, does he?
I think, honestly, with ace 3, I think he can throw that away and wait for another day.
Yeah, he's going to go for it.
He's going to go for it. So this does not open up the action to Jamie yet. Now, were all the aces out or just three of them? I think just three of them. Ace 9, ace 4, ace 3. Obviously, Terry never re-raises here, but does he call?
I think
Nope.
Terry is less likely to than the average player, and
Yeah.
yep.
So, what's terrible here for Jamie is she cannot re-raise. She can only call. And so then obviously, Eric's calling. What's chances we see like a 6-9 of spades here?
6-9 or 2 spades with a 6 and a 7 or a 4 and a 6 or something like that.
Well, that's not check.
That got real boring real fast. We did lose one player.
Sorry to see you go, Chris. Hey, Dave, if you're still watching, you should tell all your friends.
That might take us from 34 viewers to 188 or something like
least.
that.
Actually, Dave's a very nice guy.
Dave is an incredibly nice guy. I'm just giving him a bad time.
I played with Dave and his wife Tracy in Fergus Falls a bunch with poker. Very nice people. Always a good time. Dave, didn't see Dave this weekend. Didn't see them. I saw Tom Brimhall come up from Fergus Falls. Brian apparently felt he hadn't played a hand in a while.
I mean, it had been two or maybe 3.
All right, blinds are going up next hand, 8, 16, 16. Maybe he knew that, and he decided, well, I hadn't raised enough this time.
Yeah, okay, so in his defense, if it folds to you and the small blind and Terry is the big blind, I'm literally raising with the deuce of diamonds and the calendar card.
Yeah, that's true.
I respect Terry's play, but he's just more willing to fold than a lot of players.
Right. Well, and then Papa Giorgio raising Mr. Bellagio. I think it's Mr. Papa Giorgio he wanted to be referred as, too. Is Terry trying to angle shoot here, saying that Brian didn't put out the number of chips the way he should have put them out or something? Nah.
I mean, Brian literally just hit 3 outer on him.
Yep. Well, technically, the only 3 cards he was not going to win that pot with were 3 ace on the flop, because he was betting that either anyway.
Ace or maybe, I suppose, 2 4s.
Yeah. If the last 2 4s, then then he probably doubles up Terry. Brian already up 20,000 on the table. Jacob, of course, with 41,000 plus, which is more than a double up.
It's always good when you can be at a table for 2 hands and have more than doubled up already.
Yeah.
And he folded one of those hands. Yeah, he might have been here 3 hands. That might have been.
I think he's been here 4 hands.
Okay.
Because it says 25.
So he's only making a little over 10,000 a hand. That's not very good.
Yeah.
Jesse's-
Jamie calls with a6 and
Jesse's got ace 9 spades. Is he raising here?
yeah, Jesse doesn't enter a pot unless he raises.
Brian's he's got Jack 10. We know he doesn't like to be in very many pots. Ooh, that looked painful.
Yeah. On the button. He gives up the button. So does Jamie come along here? She has 80,000. She has 3 of her 66 big blinds to call. Oh, she gives it up.
I don't know that I've seen her play at all.
Should have been.
Yeah.
Maybe we should click that connect button, Corey. I think we're starting to glitch, and he's dealing at the moment. Sometimes we can be fast enough back that.
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. The only one you told us was someone who got knocked out. Right,
Jesse's got a couple snowmen. You know, he played on this table last night. I was commentating, and he had a ton of pocket pairs. I don't think any were as big as 8s. He had 3s and 5s and 4s and 3s and 6s, and he could not hit a set. David Jarrett is going to call with Queen 4 of clubs, which I think pretty much guarantees Jacob's coming along. We got 3 to this flop. Queen 10 deuce. Jacob just went open-ended. David hits top pair. Jesse is, I'm guessing, done with this hand unless something changes in the turn here. We got a secret turn card. We don't get to know what it is.
Oh, it's a 7.
It's a 7 of diamonds.
Jacob even now. Oh, look at that. He's got to be pushing that, doesn't he? Yeah, 45. It's really tough to call here with Queen 4. Oh, especially. It's either all in or fold here, isn't it, for David? You can't call. You either think you're good or you're not, right?
Right. Well, you're certainly not. I can't imagine you want to let him.
Never mind. I was wrong. It's a calling hand. Love you, Blondie. Oh,
And they both got there. He made the right play, but I mean, the most correct play would have been to fold that queen high, I guess. The way it worked out, but I mean, he was ahead when he called,
yeah.
and
Now it leaves you with 9 big blinds, or as we discussed, probably 4.5 or 5.
I think
He's big blind this hand then? No.
he's
Oh, he was small blind that last hand, so he got kind of.
we got discounted rate, yeah. So he's got 7 hands or whatever, 6 hands that he can see for free. Desperately hoping for a suited ace or a pocket pair.
Jamie with pocket 8s. Probably calls.
Yeah,
Doesn't raise.
the feeling I got from watching her in these 20 hands or 16 hands we've played.
We are terrible at this.
And that's why I'm back here at least. I guess I don't know if you played or not, but I did stupid things yesterday, like running my kings into jacks pre-flop. You know, Terry's got a couple of
look
cues.
at that look he gives across the table. He goes all in.
34.
Did he say all in or call? I thought he said something. If it's anything we know about Terry, he doesn't like to raise ever.
He will let you bet his hand for him.
Yeah.
More than happy to let you do the betting. Everybody else promptly gets out of the way. I feel like Jamie's not going to lose many chips in this.
I mean,
I'm taking that feeling back.
How often does she play against a guy like Terry? And she has 76,000. The guy has 17. The pot's 8 or 10. Yeah, she's gonna double him up here. Does he put the rest of his chips in at least? When
Nope.
she only bet 3,400.
She bet
Just
34. He
call.
flats.
I wonder if Terry actually would ever watch these live streams. Nine on the river. And she checks out of it, and he never bets again. And the whole table looks, Eric looks just like, okay. Yep, that's what I just saw.
Jesse's got a knowing smirk.
Yeah. The whole table's laughing about this.
Lily Jacobs over there like, I've never seen anything like that before. The guy has queens in position and never raises once.
Yeah.
Nine high board, right?
Why can't someone play like that with queens when I have eights or jacks?
Why can't a board come like that when I have queens or kings?
Oh, yeah, that's true too. Probably because when you have queens, someone else has kings.
Yeah, I don't mind losing queens to kings. It's when I'm losing my kings to queens or jacks that I mind.
Oh, yeah, true.
You know, I mean, I don't mind losing to a better hand. It's when I lose to the worst hand. I make enough bad plays on my own. I don't need the cards going against me too.
So we got blind action here. 6-5 versus Jack 7. Gut shot? Not gut shot. I had to look at that a little bit.
Oh, yeah, there's a gut shot out there, JB.
Yeah, gut shot. I thought the other one was a gut shot too. It wasn't.
Nope.
But the one without the gut shot bets. And we'll
It's
take
gonna
it
work.
down.
I wouldn't have called there either, I don't think. Although I don't think I would have been in the spot where I'd have had to call there.
Well,
I believe I
she
would've-
didn't. She was in the big blind.
Yeah, but I would have probably bet the.
You'd bet the flop
I would probably bet the flop and they checked
with an
me.
over and a gut shot. Yeah, I think so too.
I like information.
That's what the game is all about, is gathering information. That's the only problem. I mean, you know, obviously we're constrained by time with 30-minute blind levels to get these things done in the amount of time we have. It's amazing playing tournaments with 40, 50. The World Series, the main event, is 2-hour blind levels. All right, Jesse entering the pot again. Raising to 25. Brian call. No, that's not a call. Was that an raise?
That's a raise.
Yeah.
Brian 3 bets. Terry surprisingly folds and walks away.
With 7 deuce.
Oh, and Jamie picks up ace king.
She just calls here, right?
Man, she's out of position.
Yeah, she just calls.
Eric's definitely coming along.
Eric looks so disinterested all the time. And now we get four-handed because of that.
Who hits? Somebody's got to hit. 3, 5.
Not really. I guess Brian. This is a perfect board for Brian. Because Brian's going to bet this hard. Like 25, 22,000? Actually, 14?
14 might keep people around.
Well,
Just under half the pot.
might get an Eric involved.
I don't see how Eric's getting away. The Eric I've played with does not get away from this right now. Not most flop. Yep. Jesse will get away.
Brian doesn't take his foot off the gas here. Not anymore. Now they both have gut shots, too.
But the gut shot's bad for both of them.
Yeah.
Either one of them hits the gut shot, the other boats. Oh, come on. I'm hoping for a gutter ball. I don't care which way.
So he,
I
he
just wanna
backed
see the
off
fire.
from 14 to 9? You check back here? Yeah. Wow.
That was.
They both backed off there. They both were unsure of where exactly they were. But it's a lot of chips to go Brian's way from the other guy at the table. That brings Eric down to about 66,000. Now Brian's up there at 176. He's got the next closest is Jacob at 90. Now, Jacob had kings right away when he got here. I think that's really been about the only hand. No, he played one other, didn't he?
Yeah, because he won more chips after one other hand. I don't remember.
Right, but he was from the big blind. He had king jack in the big blind, so he hasn't put any money in the pot.
No, he's literally at 10% voluntarily put in the pot and 5% pre-flop raise.
Terry finds a hand he likes with king jack of spades.
In the +1? He likes that in the +1. Huh?
It looks so pretty.
It does. It's.
Suited face cards. I don't care. They just. And, hey, apparently Jack's 7 off.
And Jesse's got pocket fours.
Again,
We're
if
getting
we
into-
know him, he's got to be raising here, right?
No, he just checks.
It's a big blind. So
He's
he already
big
had-
blind. He's already in. He's
Yeah.
8-8-3. Jesse's
Oh.
good right now, but he can't know that. I think he might suspect it.
I think he bets 38.
You were
30.
way off.
Yeah,
Way
I
off.
know.
One whole chip.
Oh,
Terry's coming over top. How fast can Jesse's card hit the muck?
I don't.
Oh, Terry just called.
Oh my gosh!
And then Terry gets there.
How?
But Jesse picks up a 4-high flush draw. And Terry's going to actually bet.
And there's no way Jesse can call here. Not with a 4 of diamonds.
He just watched this guy play check queens down.
Exactly. There's no possible way. That is. That's amazing.
I feel like we should have recorded that hand.
So Brandon's calling out on the live stream chat that Jacob will be chip leader at this table at night's end. Well, we know where they'll be coming from. Well,
What do you suppose Terry does under the gun with a couple Ks?
Kings, calls,
Flat call? Limp in?
flat calls.
He's going to limp. He's going to limp knowing Eric Hansen will raise.
Oh no, he
Terry
raises to 4. Does anybody call? What do you need to call here in this case? I think you need at least an ace queen. I suppose if you have 10s or jacks, do you think you're set hunting against?
Very large cojones.
What does Brian have? What does Brian have? Oh, yeah, he's not calling.
I believe Brian attempted to double down.
Yeah. Terry is on a heater.
Well, the real estate market slowed down. He's got to pick up some money playing poker. Chase Lardy is dying laughing.
Brandon taught him everything. Just ask him.
Wonderful view of the back of Jesse's head here.
And Eric's. I thought we were supposed to give out our hats to people so that we could get less glare.
Maybe we should put out hats, give out hats with a logo in the back.
There we go.
So, Heidi, if you're listening, we need some Randy's Diner hats with a logo on the back of the head.
I feel Jesse would sport a visor really well with his haircut. And Eric would probably sport one with the fake hair on top of it pretty well. I'm not making fun of anybody. I am also very hair challenged.
And I feel like Jacob probably has plenty of hair, and he does have a hat on. Maybe he could borrow somebody that hat.
Who would have the best hair in the 701 Poker Tour? There are a lot of people who wear hats, Avi. I think Tyler Colness would. TK. He has a lot of hair. He just cut it. He looked trim when he showed up today. I can't spell his name. I think it's KJOL, maybe KOHL, maybe. He's never going to hear this, but I'm going to, after today, I'm going to purposely spell his name wrong for the rest of his poker career with 701.
On the plus side, we seem to have gotten rid of the choppiness when we remembered to hit the connect button.
Yeah.
That is, as Eric Anderson has pointed out to me several times, that is a flaw in the script or whatever the technical term would be for that
Chase.
on the software. That is nothing we're doing wrong. Chase thinks he knows how to spell coldness.
Well,
I'm going to go with what his definition is because I'm not going to be.
Chase is right, but I'm never going to spell it that way anymore because I know it annoys.
It doesn't look right either. So
Yeah. In this part of the country, there has to be a J in there, right? I mean,
I would believe so. Yes.
yeah.
Okay, Chase, you're so smart. Now do my last name because I've been friends with Steve for 20 years and he still can't do it right.
This is Eric Crystal. Crystal.
Good luck.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, Michael. We'll see you again tomorrow. We'll probably start live streaming a little bit after we start at noon tomorrow. I can't remember if we get this go up and going right away at noon. I think we could. We know what it is. Dave, Blondie, Jarrett moves all in with A7 for about 10,000. Jamie decides to fold.
He didn't know, but he was desperately hoping Jamie would push all in behind to give him some protection.
Yeah. He's down to 3 aces.
I was not watching the cards fold. We'll see, I guess, what pops up here.
Jamie called. Jamie called.
Well, no, he doesn't have to turn him over. He doesn't know what dire straits he's in. Jack 8, 10. A
Check,
9.
check.
Oh, yeah.
That's it for
No,
Dave.
he still has a 9. 9 would give him a straight, right?
Chop, yeah. Choppy chop.
And I gotta believe Eric's gonna go away here, right?
Yeah.
He just wanted to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's always one of those things. There's some pretty big opinions. You gotta show those hands, guys. Gotta show those hands. Well, if anybody doesn't know out there, anytime a player's all in, all the people who go to Showdown have to show their cards.
Chase, I'm pretty sure you looked that up on Facebook, my friend. Although we are Facebook friends, so you could have remembered that. I guess that is possible. Well done, sir. Well done. It is not very common for people to get that correct.
It's not. Oh, look at that. Yeah, he says he knew it. I do really well with spelling people's names, and I don't even think the first time I met you that I had that even close.
I'm not really certain why I believe grandfather would have chosen that spelling when he came from Germany, but I never met the man, so I can't really question him on it. I'm not certain he even chose it. I believe a lot of times they just chose it for the people because they couldn't speak English, and they just wrote what they were saying down.
Why can't we pick on Chase? I think
He's like literally one of the smallest people. We got to pick on him.
All right, Brian raises to 4,800. Terry Fold.
I think I can't believe Brian raised with pocket sixes. That's weird. I can't believe Eric called with 10 E's.
Well, this is gonna be interesting.
And there's a 10.
Backdoor flush.
Eric checks. Brian's
Brian's never slowing down here.
nope. Eric's calling. Eric's at least calling.
73. He's got to call one time, right? He's got to call one time just to see if that's slow. Because again, the last time Brian had a hand like sixes, he slowed down. Now all of a sudden, now Brian, he slowed down again.
And now Eric's gonna check. Yep. Hoping for bet. He's never getting called.
It says 31.
Well, I have 26.
But that doesn't seem right. No, yeah.
Did it just happen?
A hand that I have to have?
Do you remember any one of the hands? Like,
Um,
was it aces, kings, queens, something like that?
it was Eric, Tweet, and Jacob Amber were green.
Chase is thanking Brandon for protecting him. We got a 10 high flop with Masaki and Jamie both catching the 10. And Brian's in the hand, so he's not in the hand anymore. Masaki's going to call. Just misses the 2 pair. Jamie's going to bet. I don't think he's going to get away yet. Nope. Reasonably straightforward.
Yeah.
I'm utterly amazed that Jacob is quite that low on the voluntarily put in the pot.
I am utterly perplexed that Jamie was that high. Has it even seemed like Jamie's played that many hands?
She's picked up a couple decent sized. I
And
mean, she had
just
that ace
called and
king.
then bet off the hand.
Yeah. She hasn't.
But
see
she
here,
has
Jamie.
40 VPIP and 42 when it's showdown. Did we miss a hand?
She's got 45% aggression. Eric Hansen.
She's up to 94,000.
Eric Hansen's only got 31. We must have missed a hand. No. Yeah, she's up to 94,000.
And it had to be through Brian, too. That's the only thing that makes any sense.
We're getting glitchy again. Unless it's this hand, maybe we're giving away secret information. She- No, she folds. Okay, it's not this hand.
Who was in C2? Didn't someone just come in C2? All right, someone's got a bet here, right?
Eric's got the gutter ball in the top. Brian's lost interest in the hand. Masaki's not going to give up just yet.
This is a pretty good read by Masaki, I think, here. He thinks he's good on the flop, and that's not going to change. You got to check, call anything. And yeah, and Eric was disciplined there. He knew his opponent. He could have put out a really... It's always the most difficult thing. Like, you got to tell the story right. If you bet really big there at the end against a guy like Masaki, he's going to call. And... you know, so you have to sell it right. And as soon as you check that flop, the only thing you can have is a 10 there. So the right amount to bet, really difficult to find at that point. Margin for error is so small. So I think it's a good play to just check back there and just give up, as much as I hate giving up.
Brian's going to raise with King Jack suited. Weird.
Why wouldn't you? It's like a top 25 hand, isn't it? Might actually be a top 20. I might have to think about that. And if,
Terry folds Queen 9 suited. Equally shocking.
I mean, would you rather have deuces, threes, or fours, or King Jack suited? I think I'd rather have deuces, threes, or fours still, because King Jack you can end up against King Queen or King Queen or Ace King or Ace Jack. You know, you can get into
Yeah.
problems.
With King Jack, you don't trust either pair.
Right.
Brian's got the problem of too many chips they won't stay in one stack. I hate that problem. And he picks up ace queen. Just calls with ace queen. That's a pretty good call. Jacob goes to 5,300. Masaki gets away from the 10-9 suited. Jamie's probably getting away from 10-6 offsuit. Eric picks up a couple of Ks. Does Brian get away from this right here? Brian comes along. What do you do if you're Jacob? You just picked up the third, fourth best starting hand.
Just call. Case King came off here anytime? One time? Oh, there's a queen. Oh,
Couple queens. Do we lose? Do we lose Eric on this hand? I don't see how we don't.
against a guy like Brian?
But he just put in half his pot. I mean, he just put in half his chips. Think he can get away from that?
No, not anymore.
I mean, it's just the bet sizing is. I don't want to say it's bad, but it doesn't leave him a chance to get away. There's no. Yeah. And
That was even a odder bet size there. Yeah.
I've got 23-1. I'm going to put 20 in.
Yeah. And I don't know what the river was, but it wasn't the Case King, as we can tell.
And Jacob is sitting over there thinking, how did I get away from that so cheap?
Ooh.
Three of spades.
Three of spades.
Three of spades was definitely the river. Yep, there it showed up.
So now they're down to six-handed, so got to be someone else coming in, right? We just try to convince Heidi to do some commentary. Discipline Jacob for the win. But this goes against Brandon's idea that Jacob will be chip leader at this table because now Brian has 200,000? 231,000. Oh. Mr. Papa Giorgio. He wanted to be called Mr. Papa Giorgio. And he's next to Mr. Bellagio. And Mr. Papa Giorgio does Mr. Bellagio's dry cleaning.
Mr. Bellagio, did he raise? Mr. Bellagio raises.
How do you ever call a raise from Terry?
I mean, it's not even a min raise. It's 100 over a min raise.
It is.
He'd have probably called a min raise, but that extra 100 was just a bridge too far. I don't know that we need to rewind the tape, Brandon.
Monster. I'll let you analyze that, Brandon. Oh, we got a new player coming in. He's coming in seat 8, looks like 7.
Probably 7. I don't think I don't think Jacob wants him sitting in his lap.
I don't know, maybe.
But, yeah, teach their own. Jamie's got King Jack
Jamie's
offsuit.
going to call because that's what Jamie does.
That's how she gets the VP.
But we had to miss the hands somewhere
Jen-
because Jamie won some chips. And we didn't see it.
Yep, I messaged you and said I fucked up.
Oh, that's the one. That's how. Okay. I know you messaged me, but I didn't realize you were saying that's how you left it.
Yeah, so I screwed up somewhere and all of a sudden they're on the next hand and I'm still waiting for the turn on the previous hand.
Gotcha.
And it's like, Mayday?
I'm not sure, Brandon. We don't want to give anybody's tells away and let everybody know how to play everybody. I don't think that would be fair of us to do. I mean, I see you play all the time, Brandon. I could tell everybody your tells. Do you think that would be very fair of me to do? Okay, I'm laughing because I don't know anything.
Well, hey Brandon, you're
Oh, Jacob. Jacob wakes up with
your
aces.
horse just woke up with aces. And unfortunately for him, Brian is not in his seat.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to go. Oh, somehow we still knew Brian ended up having 10-4. Oh, it's Steve. Well, Steve looks like he's going to get frisky and defend his big blind here.
New seat, featured table, big blind all at one time. That's not quite fair, it doesn't seem. Especially for under the gun to wake up with aces into your Jack 9. Oh,
And you flop open-ended.
how much can I get this guy to put in the pot? And I hope he doesn't have a 10.
7,000?
7,000 calls. That's close. Does he have a 10? I really don't want him to have a 10.
16? I think you got to bet at least 16 here, right?
It was either 12 or 16. I think I saw 4 chips go.
12. Nope, doesn't hit.
If you want to make any more chips, you got to bet let 'em bluff. But I don't know what you can call. I mean, obviously, I know you can call anything, but
I mean, do you put like
oh,
five?
you don't have to check his ES act first.
Yeah,
You,
if
yeah, you're not getting called by anything that doesn't beat you.
See his hand. I guess. Yeah, you can't bet there. I guess if you're Jacob, because you're only getting called by something that.
The only hand that's
you're
calling
getting
you is a
called by
10.
Queen. Well, no, queen. I mean, if you bet something small, queen, king queen could be there. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess the only hands that are probably calling you is a queen, but a 10 is raising you there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think you could have won any more chips. You did not miss a bet, in my
No,
opinion.
not in that case.
Saki wakes up with ace jack suited. Under the gun. I would concur that Jacob played it pretty much perfectly, Brandon. I think he could have maybe gotten another $3,000 to $5,000 out of the $12,000 bet, but that's open to interpretation, certainly.
Ooh, what goes on here? Does he just call? Or does Brian get a little frisky? Just calls.
Just calls. Strictly for viewing interest, I hope at least 2 hearts flop.
2 hearts, queen, 9.
10 of clubs.
Ooh.
Just for viewing privileges. I don't have any preference on who wins his hand.
And none of those things happen. Everything looks like it's just catching up here. There we go. Yeah, this is not going to do anything but go Masaki's.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was about as boring as possible. Good job, Eddie. Benny is the dealer. Could have put up a really fun flop, but didn't.
So, I know you've been pretty good chip leader in tournaments before, Eric.
Nah, not really.
Really?
I have a hard time building a chip stack.
That's not true. Do you like having a massive chip lead over people? Do you think at some point you get so many chips more than people that it actually is not worth playing some hands? Or do you just continue to keep your foot on the gas? I don't think, Brian's not there yet. He,
No, Brian's not even. I don't want to say he's not close because he's close, but he's certainly hitting the point of diminishing returns.
yeah.
But I'm also a firm believer when you're on the fastest horse, you keep riding.
I can agree with that.
I mean, it's the things that in that situation when I'm Brian right now, things that will get me to slow down significantly. Dealer change, especially to a dealer that I historically run cold with, and I know it's not a thing, but it's completely a thing.
Sure seems like it.
And you take some of the dealers we have around here, Darcy and Leah. One of them I can always pick up chips with. The other one I might as well just walk out of the building.
Yeah. It is true. It's a thing. You haven't heard from Jesse in a while. Jesse's gonna get frisky here.
I mean, he's got that runner straight draw. And it's going to work.
That's a terrible camera angle. Someone hit that, obviously.
I'll go fix it.
Someone's behind me.
How do you keep sneaking up behind Corey? The one that's off kilter.
One behind Steve.
Thank you. And then Masaki is button. Supposedly that's what it is.
Corey, I've got this weird suspicion that like one of the next couple hands is going to be interesting. we were on television, we'd go to commercial break. If I'm Brian, I'm worried about the guy 3 to my left. Let me guess, that's Jacob. Weird.
Ooh, do I say the F word again?
I don't know. Then we have to carry the conversation by ourselves.
I kind of want to say that F word again. Fantastic.
So what kind of food do you give your cat?
I give him. Ooh, so close. I mean, it wouldn't be technically that word. It would be that word plural. Yes, he definitely can. I've played with him enough that it's tough to play against Eric. It's tough to play against me too because I pass notes under the table that if you take chips off me, I will slash your tires. Heidi snuck up behind me again. I don't know what's going on. That's not a thing, by the way. Wink, wink.
We didn't actually say it. We just hinted at it.
So, looks like the.
This hand.
So it looks like our VPIP is kind of leveled out here a little bit, and they're all reasonable. Jacob, Terry, and Masaki pretty low at 1 out of every 8 hands, considering we've been at 6 and 7 handed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been some time since we had a full complement of players.
I mean, because that includes, like we said, Masaki wakes up with aces on the button.
Raises on the button with aces. Interesting strategy.
Oh, Tiny is checking in.
That won't change anything.
Jesse moves all in with King 10. Wow.
I didn't see that coming.
Oh, Masaki only has 11.8.
Ooh,
No,
that's
that can't be right. Because Jesse's getting up to leave. Oh!
well played, Jesse.
Oh my.
Can I see that? I don't.
I'm not. I'm another disbelief actually on that one. I was concentrating on Jesse getting up to leave and trying to figure out who had chips. And apparently, so there is some glitch in the system where the video feed is behind the tracker. And so when I said the 11,800 for Masaki, the hand had already played out. And that's what we were seeing. Was his stack go down to 11,800. And so, wow. You flop a set with aces.
And just ship most of your chips
Oh.
across the table. And Jesse, while being very happy, is also feels horrible for what he just did to somebody.
Yeah. It's one of those things that you just can't. Yeah, I just that's just so weird that it's just seeing Jesse make that move in that situation, and then it just ends up exact everything you want to happen at a poker table. Someone to shove into you when you have aces, and then that happens.
You flop the ace, and somewhere along the way goes haywire.
Oh. And you only have, what, 6 big blinds left here? And, I mean,
Jacob raises from the hijack seat. Jamie's gonna see a flop with king queen of diamonds, and Jesse, who all of a sudden is getting hit square in the face with the river card, has a couple J's. He's thinking, or did he call?
he hasn't done anything yet.
That's what.
I think he's thinking of raising to 8,500. Oh no, he's making it 25,000 and putting everybody to a test.
I don't mind that play with jacks. I mean, he literally all 3 overs are out.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally, if everybody sees that flop, all 3 overs burn him. I don't see Jamie calling this.
No.
Judging by the fact that chips just went across the table, Jesse played jacks to a win. I believe that is the correct way to do it.
When your hair is that fine, you're going to get that 4-outer on the river, though. Oh.
Michael Williams commented earlier that he's never seen Jesse make a play like that. I would venture that that play has not been made very many times by anybody to have seen Jesse do that.
Yeah.
I just got to believe that he thought Masaki was trying to push and was just trying to steal something and was not going to let it happen. And every once in a while, you step in it.
Yeah, thought it was a button move on his big blind and thought he'd play back at him. Masaki's got to go all in here with 3s, right? And unfortunately for him, Steve has picked a time to raise with 9-7 of clubs, which is not the ultimate worst hand you can be against with 3s.
I don't see Brian calling with ace queen, do you?
Oh, yeah. So it turns out Masaki has 13,400 instead of just 11,008.
He gets called. Steve's probably going. Oh, God.
Steve's got a call here. You can't. I mean, it's only another 7,400 or something like that. It says 58, but
Right. Yeah, it's 70. It's 13-4
yeah.
or whatever. That's not exactly what you're looking for if you're Masaki. And you know when you flop chips, it's not
I
always
thought
good for
Heidi
you.
was supposed to fix that camera.
Oh!
Masaki gets some karma double up, triple
Okay,
up.
and I do not, under any circumstances, want this to happen, but how gross would it be if the 8
8.
came? Or the king?
Oh, or a club, a king, a club.
Oh,
my
oh.
gosh.
Oh.
This is just not Masaki's day. I don't know what you do. These are the ones you just shrug your shoulders and you go home. I mean, I don't know what else you do.
Masaki, you played it right. Corey stepped away. Heidi's going to actually sit up to the mic. Now, Heidi, you have to get right up there. These mics only pick you up if you're super close. So,
All right,
you and your husband deal these almost every time we do it. Is this better? Is it more fun to do this than to deal at a regular table?
Yes and no. Really, there's no difference dealing-wise, but you just have to make sure you're announcing all the action, you're paying attention, and you, for lack of a better word, you can't go on autopilot. So, and then so John's normally running the table itself, and then I'm running the action tracker. And there especially, I mean, I have to pay attention all the time. And you probably saw, 10 minutes ago, where I screwed up. So then it gets all weird.
It's a poker tournament. Everybody here today screws up at some point in time. I wouldn't get too worried about that.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun to have this table out. I know some of the players don't like it. Just it's a giant computer. You can't drink at it. You can't have your phone out. So some players don't like it, but it's fun.
There are other players that do like it, and I mean, I was walking around yesterday. Steve and I were talking about which tables, and there were definitely people trying to get us to pick their table. I mean,
Definitely.
there's certainly some level of draw to it. That's why we do it.
And I mean, I know some players actually like being able to share it on Facebook or share it to their whatever they want to share it to, and that way their friends and family can watch. So that's the cool part about it.
We got Brian's 10-8 against Jacob's pocket threes. Brandon says Masaki should go straight to his room before he gets struck by lightning. I cannot disagree. Jacob is... I believe at this point Jacob has put in enough time with Brian where I think he's going to stay sticky. I don't think this bet's going to work. I could be wrong. It is an ace. But I think... Again, I could be wrong. But I just feel like Jacob doesn't believe anything Brian's doing right now. He might actually be more concerned about the flush than the ace. He's certainly thinking about it. He does fold.
And I think there, especially with having the heart come out, that flush possibility. I mean, granted, Brian's playing random hands.
Look at him. He's regretting that fold. He is regretting that fold.
Yes, he is.
He's struck by lightning. That was just reading Brandon's
Brian says the best part about the feature table is that other people are forced to listen to his nonsense. There's actually people tuning in to listen to me talk. If I had a nickel for every time my wife had told me to shut up.
Brandon, that means that we actually have to listen.
I mean, we are reading.
We are reading, yes.
And we are glitchy. You gotta click the connect button.
Did I touch something?
No. It's just every...
Every 8.5, 9 minutes, the software gets glitchy. It's a problem that's been there for a year and it's not been fixed. So Eric Anderson tells me. I don't know anything about anything computer-wise, so I just listen to him and try to repeat. And I probably said that wrong, but you know, hey. Jacob flops a jack. Terry hits nothing with his deuces. Jamie hits nothing with her. Oh, Jamie hits bottom pair. I don't see this being much of a pot. Could be wrong. Yeah, pretty much what I expected to happen. Oh, Brock.
Six-handed?
We are six-handed.
Three tables. The other two are at 7.
Did you ever fix that other camera? Oh, yeah, I suppose it's 10 minutes behind that one. I was like, she left. The camera's not fixed.
I think I fixed it.
Corey's having a hard time figuring out the 10-minute tape delay. I believe the camera's fixed at this point, but Corey's still worried about it. So when I deal tournaments or direct them, I've done more directing than dealing, but I always have the
There's definitely days where, so as you're dealing, I don't want to say you pick up tells, but every once in a while you just have a day where it's like, yeah, you have this hand, and you can basically put players on hands. And so when you have days like that dealing, you do want to go and actually play, because it's like, well, if I'm able to do this while I'm dealing, then the next time I play, this should be awesome. And then there's other days where you just, when you see hundreds, sometimes thousands of hands over a long weekend, like this weekend where we're running 4 flights and 2 side tournaments. I mean, sometimes after that it gets to be too much.
So I'd imagine after a day of dealing to Tiny and Brandon, you want to go home and never talk to anybody again.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. They're always fun.
Just kidding, Tiny. Love you. Appreciate the drink last night.
Tiny, thank you for rooting for me earlier too. That was pretty awesome.
Did you try the strategy Steve and I laid out?
Yep, I did. I cheated a couple of times on the strategy, but I made up for it. So
Did you beg us?
I did. I begged 90.
So you listened to Steve and me and you didn't step in front of a truck?
No, it was only a small beetle.
I gotta wonder about the sanity of anybody that listens to Steve and myself. So is
Ryan's gonna try to steal this here. His only possibility is betting like 18,000.
Corey is saying, I don't know if you're picking it up or not, but that Brian's only chance of betting of picking this pot up is to bet about 18,000. I believe that is exactly what he picked up. 23. One extra pink chip.
You've done this a time or two there, Corey.
Yes.
Can Jamie lay down top pair? It is so hard when somebody's got their foot on the gas all the time to not believe them. 5 is not a very good kicker. In fact, it's essentially the worst kicker possible here. Because a 2 would not play, and a 3 or 4 would be 2 pair.
Going back to what we were saying earlier, though, with all the hands that he has been playing, I don't know if 2-5 on the button would be in my thought process for him to have there.
I think it's a better ace.
Yeah, I would. I could believe a better ace. And I
just don't think that story sells what he sold there. That's why.
I think I probably call him there. I certainly didn't study the whole hand or how it played out. I gotta believe it would have probably played out differently if I were sitting in her seat also.
I mean, he could have had ace 7 or ace 8 there.
So, and obviously everybody that deals has players they like better than other players, we'll say. I find it incredibly frustrating when one of those players that I like very well is missing an opportunity to bet, or betting incorrectly, or even in commentating I've watched players that I like very well go into full burn down mode, and it is extremely painful. You still feel that after dealing the thousands of hours you've dealt at this point in time, or you're just blind to it?
Oh, no, you definitely have, like you said, those players that you root for. We don't say it out loud, but we do. And when there's action and you give somebody runner for a flush, or you give them those sick bad beats. It's not gonna lie, it's really sickening. It's gut wrenching, especially if it's like one of your all-time favorite people.
So is Benny desperately hoping he doesn't have to see Masaki tomorrow?
From the way it's going, I think so.
I mean, he literally flopped him 2 sets and runner straighted both times.
And I mean, so as a dealer side of things, like when I have a bad run with a certain player, the next time I see him, it's kind of internally I'm just cringing, like, all right, hopefully. And I mean, like I make a comment at the table, I don't make any promises or guarantees to how the cards are going to go out. I mean, if I could do that, do you really think that I'd be dealing here? Like, if I could control the cards.
Doing magic shows in Vegas.
So, I know it's out of my control completely, but just in the back of my mind, it's, okay, please make this go better.
4 on the river. Dan will double.
Brennan says Brian doesn't even care what story he's telling. We've got Steve with a pair here, and Terry is still in the pot for some reason. Steve just hasn't pushed him out yet, I guess. Steve bets, Terry folds. We're going to reconnect. And we're back. Benny is shuffling.
So Eric, would you rather be commentating or dealing?
Playing.
That wasn't the option.
I should have played better.
Well,
You should have just continued to deal to me.
I was gonna say you were running really good when I was dealing to you.
Yeah, it was the couple dealers behind you. Jesse picks up pocket sevens. No, I enjoy the commentating. Dealing is, I think I'm reasonably good at it. Not to sound arrogant or anything, but I think I'm reasonably good at it. I don't necessarily love it. I dealt blackjack for so many years of my life that it is, I don't know. At times it's boring. Like and I just want to play. And I just want to play. And I just want to play. And then I want to punch somebody in the face. And then I want to play. And then I forget that we're playing bomb pot and I'm asking people to act when there's no flop out there. And, But I enjoy the people at the tournaments. Dealing poker is just not really my thing. I think that's why I've ended up doing so much tournament directing and stuff like that. And when I'm tournament directing, nobody argues with the tournament director. He's a big, angry person.
Apparently, they don't feel like they should or talk back to you as much.
Not the sober ones. I'm going to step away and let Corey ask Heidi a bunch of not personal questions. Or personal, I don't care.
I may or may not answer. We'll see.
Did you go hunting this year?
I did. Did not bring home any deer. Saw a couple, but they were too small for opening weekend, and then the last one that I saw end of hunting was basically a dog on stilts. So I really didn't think at 20, 30 yards shooting would the minimal meat that we would have gotten in general, and then being
Yeah.
20 yards away, no.
Correct idea there. You're good. It looks like he's looking at me when he did that. That was weird.
Just staring into your eyes.
He was. Mr. Papa Giorgio with 318,000 and Mr. Bellagio though with 24. I thought Papa Giorgio was supposed to be working for Mr. Bellagio.
Apparently he's getting something under the table. I don't know.
Whoa, they are sitting right next to each other.
No, I didn't mean it that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Brian's of the ilk where he's going to put someone to a test, and he's going to pick the bet sizing of what. But if you're talking about, he's just trying to pick some of every stack because he likes the way it looks. It looks intimidating, and he's going to do that every time. I haven't seen it yet, except those two hands against Eric where he backed off each time. I haven't seen him do any other thing. So it would be interesting to see again, because now that you're talking about this, Michael, his bet sizing, those two hands he backed off against Eric, I think it was a completely different type of play that Brian might have had. So if anybody's looking for a tell and wants to play against Brian, go ahead, study this tape. I think we're likely coming up on a blind change here pretty soon. Oh, Steve flops a set of deuces. Jamie is top pair. Bet half her stack is never getting away here because Steve is going to raise to 40,000, or is he just going to flat? He's going to pretend.
Try to reel her in for.
I mean, there's no way she can fold anymore.
Yeah, and I think they said that blinds were up before this hand started.
Okay.
Looks like he went all in.
Yeah. I mean, you already put half your money in the pot here. You put yourself in a bad situation. Obviously, Jamie suspects she's more than a little beat here, but I don't. There's nothing you can do. You bet 16,000 of your 31,000 before that.
Raise king now, just needs it down to 10. Deuce on the turn. Ace on the river. Top two pair, good for the double.
I don't think there's any way you can fold. I mean, yeah. I mean, actually, she had more than what it showed, because she had another 20. Wow, she had about another 30,000. So every once in a while, the chip counts get off for one reason or another. That she had 30,000 more behind, so that makes a lot more sense with her 16,000 chip bet. We gotta be busting another table and bringing people in now.
I believe yes, we do.
4 players here.
Yeah, we're down to 4. I don't even know how we got down to 4, to be honest.
That's
And I am sorry. There is absolutely no way you can allow. Oh. There's no way you can. You can't fucking play. Nobody. You can't play. Why do you play this game? You can't play forehand. Oh, it's Terry's just away from the table here. So they're 5-handed. Correct? Yeah.
Yep, Terry has just stepped away from the table. Let's click connect here on this.
Okay, now they're pausing.
So Corey and I have now switched spots, and I don't think I like this microphone as well.
Does it smell?
That's weird, dude. That's really weird.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't like it.
I don't think the height's quite the same. I don't know. It feels different. And now I got Heidi stalking me behind me.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
The height is adjustable, though. That could be fixed.
I know, but I saw you almost tip this one over and
Yeah.
blast everybody
There-
out. So
I think it's the bottom. I didn't realize there's a thing at the bottom. That's probably what's going on. But yeah.
hopefully that wasn't too loud for everybody. We are
So-
paused while
We populate the table.
Terry's gonna go wander around. Have you answered any of these questions Michael's asking? Do you think there's any method of Ryan's bet sizing?
Yeah, I did answer that one. I think it's just purely there was two answers to that. Was he's purely betting it to be aggressive and run people off. So when he's saying it's denying equity, sure, because most of the time he's not trying to get equity off a hand. He's playing it so that eventually he runs someone off the hand, which is the reason why he's taking chips from each stack too, and taking 2 pinks, blues, oranges, blacks.
It's harder to call when you have a mixed bag.
Heidi is saying behind us that it is harder to call when there is a mixed bag of chips.
Like if you have
Oh.
your chip stack, you're facing a call from him, or he raises and you're trying to call. If you see 58 and it's random chips compared to 58 and it's exact.
Gotcha.
Like it's almost like you're attached to not necessarily the denominations, but the
Mm,
amount of chips.
Right. Instead of it being a single chip that's put into the pot, that you just have to throw that out there.
I'm gonna hit connect again here. I don't think it's time, but might as well wait. I'm gonna do it quick while we're repopulating the table.
We got at least 2 players to sit down there.
2 players.
3 actually. John Worden, Ron James, and I do not know seat 2.
I literally just leaned over to try to look behind Benny. I'm looking at a television screen. If you want to know how my weekend's going.
Now, no fighting in the chat room, kids. Otherwise, the parents are going to have to come in here and, and say something. Okay.
Steve W wakes up with Jack.
Will he find any? Terry. Terry's got a. Ooh,
Terry.
raised to 12-4. Why did he raise so much? Under the gun. 6.
6x? That's pretty standard, isn't it, at this point of a tournament? Facetious. But being facetious. Spell that word, Chase. I'm guessing he's not here anymore. He hasn't commented in some time.
No. Chase has probably had about 5 more drinks since he last commented. My guess.
That should make it easier to spell.
Really?
Maybe not.
Terry moved all in when that ace comes. That's a tough call with jacks, but you have so much in already against a player like Terry. I think you just have to cry call here. And he does. And he's going to be pleasantly surprised to know he's in the lead. And we lose Mr. Bellagio. Okay.
What do you suppose the odds are that you'll lose Terry 2 nights in a row on the final blind level?
I think they were 50-50. You either do or you don't, right?
Yes, Timmy. Yes, you are correct.
All right. We have Ron James, and they haven't populated John Worden's name in our list yet. So it says 6 players, but I know we have 7. Yeah, we should have 7.
Another.
John's not on the list yet.
Oh, is John sitting next to?
Sitting in 9.
Okay. Yep.
It's kind of hard to have 9 raised to 55 when he's not in your list. To say, well, who's sitting in 9? I don't have anybody sitting in 9. Yeah, it looks like they're probably doing something here because we have no information on the screen.
I think I might have just heard Betty say time has been called by the.
Oh, this is where, remember?
Yep.
So
this is where John came and got Heidi because they had a problem. Not nearly as bad as it could have been. I just kicked my mic. Press
there's John W. And it's John with no H. But well, it says Brian played back at John, and Brian had ace king. If anybody watched the live stream the last 2 hours when John was playing, they know John was raising at least about half the hands, it seemed like, with almost anything. So he might find some more resistance this time.
Marcy's watching from Arizona again. Marcy, do not tell us what the weather there is like, although it was a beautiful 40 degrees here today. And a balmy 52 in this room.
Yeah, it sure seems like it. Yes, Tweet is a good 7-card stud player. Which, if there's one thing that 7-card stud players are good at, is typically gathering information. The other thing that Tweet has going for him is he is absolutely unafraid at the poker table to put anybody to a decision at any one time. Marcy laughed at your joke. Do you feel better now?
You know, if I could make one person smile a day, it's a victory.
Even if it's yourself.
It's reasonably easy to make me smile.
I can think of two things that make me smile.
Got 2 little grandbabies.
Well, that too. I do have 2 grandbabies.
Trying to keep it PG, Corey.
Yeah, okay. You're right. Good call. Brian loves stacking chips.
Every poker player loves stacking chips.
Yes, you're right.
Thank you, Captain.
You're right. I mean, that was pretty obvious. Marcy's got the sunshine and the palm trees and the cactus going. Did you know that saguaro cactuses, if you see one with an arm and 2 arms and 3 arms, basically they get 1 arm every 100 years of growth?
I did not know that.
Yeah. So if you see a saguaro cactus and it has like 6 arms, it's like 600 years old. That's what I've been told. Someone can neither confirm or deny or whatever they want to in that. But they're very protective of those things in Arizona. Very protective. In fact, developments make you actually transplant them. If you want to build on a property and they're on there, you have to go through the financial responsibility and transplant those so they can grow somewhere else. Anyway, back to action. King Queen for Craig. That was pretty self-explanatory. Craig was always going to win that.
Marcy says she did not know that. Before you go telling people down there that, you might want to fact check it, Marcy. I'm just going to say that. Not that I don't believe everything Corey says, but I would probably fact check that one. Dave, same goes for you.
Yeah, please. I would love for someone to Google that right now and let me know if at least close.
Screen is getting a bit laggy again. We'll hit connect, go black for a second, and hopefully we'll be right back. Good to go.
So Brian calls 5,500. Bet from Jesse here. Steve makes it 3 ways, and Ronnie James is going to come along. Lots of things we could see on the flop here. Oh my.
2, 4, 5.
That's going to be a Ronnie James and Steve W. hand here, I think. Maybe. I think Steve might get away, but how do you get in a raised pot? And did he bet 15,500? Yeah.
He did.
Oh my.
When you said it was a Ron and Steve hand, I was wondering if you had forgotten Brian had.
Yeah,
Like-
2 cards. Oh.
He is going to get away.
Okay, so you saw what Brian did there, counting out those chips. Do you think that was purely counting out the chips and taking a peripheral look at Ronnie just to see if he was scared of him re-raising there or anything like that? Or
I think there's some of that in there.
because with a hand like Queen Jack, I think I don't think there's any other reason. He's got to get a read off of him, right?
I think there's an attempt to get a read. That is something I do a lot of times in that situation, just to see if they make the mistake of giving me a reaction, and just to see how I feel about it as I'm in motion. Like, how do I feel on this if I were to put these chips? It's most of the time my mind's already made up that I'm folding when I do that in that situation. But every once in a while, I have changed my mind. I've never kept track if it was correct to change my mind or not. But
Brian gonna take this down with a raise with pocket deuces.
deuces never loses.
Yeah, there's that, the acting of just counting out the chips and being like, this doesn't feel right. Maybe rethink this.
Well, it's fun to remind players that is always a possibility too. Like, I'm not afraid at any point in time to grab a handful of chips and just put them in the pot.
I think he'll actually fold this one though. Dolly Parton. Unless he's a big Dolly Parton fan, I don't know.
Yeah, he got away from that pretty fast. Does not like country music.
Oh, Steve
Or
wakes
maybe,
up.
Maybe new Steve had Queens.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think. He's got the Queen of Diamonds and the Queen of Hearts. He's not supposed to draw with one of them, but the other one's your best bet.
Here again, he raised 6 times with jacks, 5 times with queens.
I don't hate the 6 times with jacks. The 5 times with queens is too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jesse's getting away from that.
I'm not trying to pick up blinds at this point of the tournament. with
No.
queens. I'm just not.
Yeah, I mean, you have 100, especially when you have 162,000. You want to get in hands with people, you know. I'd almost rather you.
And Brian's already folded.
Yeah, exactly. So,
The one person at the table that might actually call that if they have anything has already folded. And that's not to say Brian's a bad player. It's just he's got the chips to play with. And
Brian likes to win hands 2 different ways: with the hand and making you fold.
And like
And-
most poker players, I think he prefers it if he can make you fold.
Yeah,
That's way more fun.
it is.
Although it is kind of fun to have quads too.
Yeah, it's very fun to have quads. It's been a long time since I've had quads.
It's been like
You know-
30 hours or so for me.
Really?
I had quads yesterday. Pocket fives, flop to 5, turn to 5. Somebody bet into me.
I don't even hit quads when I'm playing video poker when I'm in Vegas. You know, and all the times I've been to Vegas, and when I go, it's usually somewhere around 2-3 days. And I play video poker every morning that I'm there for a good couple hours, and then other times throughout the day. I have never hit a royal flush. What do you say? That's a good flop for ace 10.
Yep.
Diamonds. But yeah, I've not hit a royal flush in my 40-some trips to Vegas. And play video poker, like I said, pretty regularly.
I actually flopped a royal flush playing a poker tournament at Planet Hollywood, $60 tournament, just messing around in the afternoon. And I was the button. I had King Jack of Hearts, flop king ace, queen 10 of hearts. And the immediate thought going through your head is, how do I get people to put chips in the pot? No joke, 4 people go all in front of me. I'm like, I call and I win.
Yeah. That's a good feeling.
One guy, like 2 people hit 2 pairs. Somebody hit a smaller flush. One guy flopped trip 10s or something. I mean, it was just each person had progressively more chips. It was $60 tournament. It was not stacked with good players. I finished third. You know.
I remember a tournament I played at Planet Hollywood. I was with my wife. But every third trip I go to Vegas, I go with the wife, and bought her into a tournament, except there was a waiting list at Planet Hollywood. And so we didn't pay the money on the waiting list. And then when he called your name, you went up, and I paid my money. I got in first, and then the wife was waiting. So I got seated, and she sat down. She got called next, and she sat down. And then on break, she asked me, "So when do I pay?" She didn't pay. They sat her. And I'm like, well, in this case, no. My wife does not play that much poker, so it's, God bless her. I love her, but she's not gonna typically win a tournament. I really wish it would happen, but it's not going to. I can also be assured that at 11:30 at night, she's unlikely to be watching this. If I do, I love you, Melissa.
If my wife is listening, love you too, Sarah, but I highly doubt she is tuning in to listen to me 2 nights in a row. She listens to my banter enough.
All right, we're probably coming up on the end of the night here. It looks like 2-3 minutes left, a couple hands. See if we get any fireworks here at the end of the night, like we did last night.
We had some pretty good fireworks last night at the end of the night.
Yeah. So here we go. Ace Queen with Craig. He has 153,000, so he's going to raise to 7,500 maybe. Oh, look at that. I didn't see the chips. I swear I didn't see the chips.
Brian
I think
gets away from 7-4.
I think Brian's putting a tent over those chips.
Jacob picks up kings.
Oh,
What does Jacob have? Can he get to that stack bet? No, he's only got 54-4. Brandon told us he was going to be the chip leader. I shouldn't have said that out loud.
17,000.
Dave, you should have seen the look on Corey's face when he read your comment out of context.
yeah. I'm like, hit what? Oh, this is always an interesting one where, I mean, the king, you never want to hit your set here if you know. But if we've learned one thing tonight at this final table, that's happened.
Yep. Oh boy. Oh boy. And he's all in. That should take it down, right?
Well, it was only 23,000.
Oh.
It's only 23,000. You're calling with an open-ended and the 2 overs. You don't know your 2 overs are not good.
So if he's going to hit a card here, which card do you think he hits? Does he hit the
8.
Does he hit the Gropes King?
8.
That would be the least painful way to go out, right?
Yeah, it's the least painful.
No, I think ace is the least painful. You think it's the 8?
It's the 8. Wow. It's like we've seen this movie before. It's happened to us how many times? I would just like to say Brandon Schmidt was wrong. Jacob was not chip leader by the end of this table, unfortunately.
Unfortunately for Jacob.
That's 3 times we've seen a straight run out like that tonight on this this feature table.
We got 6 players left here. Were we down to 2 tables? Does that mean there's 12 or 13, maybe 14 tops players left?
There could be 14.
It could be 6 and 8.
Yeah, it could be 6.
Could be as few as down it's 11. It's probably 12 at the least.
Yeah, because we don't have much left in this night. It's got to be pretty close to the last hand. Brian decided it was not time to put a tent over those chips and raises.
He
with
just remembered he
9-5.
likes country music. We're six-handed. That if you're Brian, that certainly loosens up your range, right?
Oh, yeah. And the end of the night, and
Chance to pick up some free chips because everybody else is just hoping to make the final, make it tomorrow.
there's 6,000 chips on every hand up for grabs.
It's roughly a fourth of a starting stack.
Yep.
That's- Marcy says ace queen is the bomb on this table. I know pocket pairs are not.
Ooh. Aces, threes, kings. So Ronnie had enough of Brian, is how I read this.
He's not calling. He's not. Yep. That's completely desperately hoping, just remind it. That's not even hoping to get a read because there's no read that's
No.
going to make you call there. That's literally just reminding of, hey, I got a crap ton of chips and don't get out of line or I'll put them in. That's all that was. I mean, I've done that. I've laid them out exactly like that in piles of 10. Just to remind somebody that, hey, I've got a lot of chips, and I'm not afraid to use them. Jesse picks up jacks. On what might very well be the last hand of the night.
Yeah, Ronnie's been the one tasked with buying up blacks before we bag up for the end of the night. He bets out 5,500. See, I like this sizing of bets because it allows someone to come over the top and give you some more information. You can come back with jacks and figure out exactly where you're at. Like you hear,
Ron's got queens. We're gonna hit this record button. I don't know how it's gonna play out, but let's at least record it.
he just called pre-flop, hiding out his queens. Oh, Jesse moves all in. And Ronnie snaps off with a call. This time, the miracle card does not come out and save Jesse Headland. And Ronnie James now has 221,000 in chips.
We never saw the turn card, but I can assure you it was not a jack.
And that
Benny is standing up. That typically means we're done for the night.
was what a way to end the night again.
Last night we had
A
giant
huge,
pretty much triple up. Or
Yeah.
not, it wasn't triple up. It knocked two players out.
right?
But again tonight, we take a guy that has a really nice stack and make him a monster.
Right. Yeah, the guy last night, Todd Egerdahl, has a little bit more than Brian Tweet at 356, I think, and
Yep.
Brandon has 264. But yeah, that hand last night, those last two hands, Vault gave, I think, Todd about 200,000 in chips.
Yeah, I mean he knocked two players out. I think they were all three over 100,000 into that last hand. Or right
Well, Paul was, Terry was only like 40 or 50,000.
okay, yeah, that's
But Kramer was 113,000 when he shoved with H Jack last night.
Michael says Jesse know why. Jesse's way too busy to come back in a short stack. We'll just go with that. He had jacks. There was no raise pre-flop. I don't know how you can put him on queens there. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how you can put him on queens.
is that the way Ronnie wanted to play that? Was hiding the fact that they were queens and willing to risk that same situation
Honestly, I think he thought it was last hand of the night essentially. He
and
knew it
just
was-
take it easy?
and I'm not going to lose any chips with my queens if an overcomes. I'm just going to flat. And if an ace or king doesn't come, then I'll go hog wild on the flop. And he bet the flop. He checked. He called and then bet the flop, and Jesse pushed over top of him.
Yeah.
So I don't think he thought he was getting action I think he probably had Jesse on ace king, ace queen. Not gonna get wild and crazy. I don't know how you put Jesse on.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how Jesse would put a guy on
Maybe
queens or set there, I guess. But
It feels to me. It feels like it's one of those hands that played out the way it did, strictly because it's the last hand, one of the last hands of the night.
yep.
I think Jesse gets the benefit of more knowledge pre-flop if it's not the last hand of the night, because I think he gets a re-raise.
So we're left with probably only about 12 stacking through this flight, which I think gives us around 70. So he might be coming back just to 8 tables tomorrow at noon, give or take. It's either 8 or 9. We'll find out tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have complete chip counts and new tables for you by within about an hour. And we'll see you